Hello, Facebook fans and YouTube fans of DX Engineering. It's Friday afternoon here in the Eastern time zone of the USA. It's time for the weekend special. This is a show that we talk about antennas, we interview people, and sometimes we talk about other things too. And today we're going to talk about amplifiers. Amplifiers is one of the most asked about products at DX Engineering. I would say second only to antennas, because the antenna really is the heart of it. Your antenna makes or breaks what's going to happen. If you have a poor antenna, just pouring more power into it is not going to make your station that much better. So it's really important that you think about that. And so I'm going to show my screen here, and we will we'll bring up a little presentation that we put together. And okay, so we're going to talk about linear amplifiers, and here is a photo of an iMac tube in an amplifier. And you can see the plate choke dimly over on the right hand side, and it looks like there's a capacitor, the red capacitor, but a beautiful tube from iMac. And so a couple of things to think about that we put together here at DX Engineering. Do you need an amplifier? Is it something that is going to do what you want to do? Will it help you work more people? Will it help you maybe make a distant contact that you're not able to with just the radio alone? And then you need to also think about the power level. Do you need a 600 watt amplifier? How about 1,000 watts? Or you can get them up to 1,500 watts. And so when you're doing your research, you need to talk to others, maybe in your club. You can always call us at DX Engineering as well. But so we're going to talk mostly today about HF amplifiers. VHF amplifiers is a whole nother game. And so we're going to talk about some considerations when you're selecting an amplifier as well. So when you're asking the question, do you need an amplifier? Do you want to break more pileups, work more DX? Maybe you're not being heard very well. And so you should take a look at your antenna system to make sure that you have done everything you can do with the land you have and the amount of money that you're able to spend to make sure that your antenna is taken care of first, because the antenna, for the most part, we use the same antennas for receive and transmit. So a poor receive antenna is also going to be a poor transmit antenna. And so you always want to work on improving your antenna first. That's the first thing you want to do. And good quality amplifiers do hold their value, but we're talking about amplifiers that cost several $1,000s. And some of these amplifiers you can have for a whole lifetime if you take good care of them. The lesser expensive amplifiers can lose value over time, and but they would be easier to sell if you have to sell your amplifier, on a quick sale. And of course, versatile amplifiers, like ones that go 160 through 6 meters, would certainly appeal to a larger audience. This is a photo of an ACOM amplifier, and here's the ACOM 2000A. Very popular amplifier. And so on HF, there are a lot of choices of amplifiers. Ameritron is a popular choice. Also, ICOM has the PW1. That's being replaced here at some point with the PW2. And then there's ACOM. And we hope to bring on more amplifier lines here in 2022. And this is always a big question. Should I buy an amplifier that's got tubes in it, or how about solid state and glass or ceramic tubes, 120 volts or 240 volts, auto or manual tune? And so these are a lot of the different questions that you have to ask yourself. And so what you have to do is establish a budget, and then figure out what power output you want, and then the bands you want to cover. How much space do you have? Do you want QSK, which is for CW for break-in, full break-in, a list of alternatives too, because these days supply and demand, amplifiers are selling at a rapid clip, and so you have to prioritize your requirements and make your selection based on what's most important to you. This is a big topic too. The 240 volts is always the way to power an amplifier, even a 600 or 700 watt amplifier. Having 240 volts, there's less voltage drop. It's the breakers are more reasonable, and the power wiring. Running a lot of power on 120 volts is not recommended because your wiring is not capable of supplying the proper current. And it's always best to run an amplifier on 240 volts. And tube or solid state, it doesn't matter. You always want to have the 240 volts. And so when you're thinking about solid state versus tube, solid state amplifiers are very sensitive to VSWR. They're also very sensitive to overdriving. Tube amplifiers can be much more forgiving. So make sure that you do discuss your choices. Take a look at the reviews on the DX Engineering website for various amplifiers, and put as much money into your antenna system first, because that will give you the biggest bang. And you want to get a good quality amplifier when you do decide. And at DX Engineering, we're always here to answer your questions. And so with that, I'm going to stop the share, and we'll see what's on the chat, and see what everybody is up to today. And let's see here. We've got Echo India 3, India Echo Bravo from Ireland, and 2 Echo 0 Radio Echo Echo. Hello, Andy from England. And Chris W5CUY says, hey, Tim, recently upgraded to extra. Congratulations, Chris. I'm working on building a 3CX3000A7. That's a pretty big project, Chris, so be very careful. Remember, high voltage, be very, very careful. And we've got Uncle Gunter is on, DK5 Oscar Norway Victor, and Kilo Delta 2 Sierra X-Ray Delta is on. And Bob the Traveler, WD8NVN, says any serious ham needs to have access to an amplifier. There are a lot of serious hams that are QRP guys too, though, Bob. Don't forget, and low power guys. In fact, more people run low power than they do high power, and so there's room for everybody. And let's see, DK5ONV says he likes ACOM over OM power, and our friend Rick, Whiskey X-Ray 8 Tango, is on. And let's see. Also, Gunter likes the Mtron DX3 SP. And let's see. Oscar Zulu 1 Delta Whiskey X-Ray is on. And Dino says, my Drake L4B has two 3500s, new from 1979, still going strong. It's an amplifier I can repair, and the only microprocessor involved is the one between my ears. But I also have an Ameritron 1306 as well. Well, that Drake L4B is a really nice amplifier. I love the fact that the power supply is separate and really, really stable. And Gunter says he still has his L7. And let's see, Alpha 92 Golf Whiskey says he doesn't own an amplifier yet, but he's leaning towards an ACOM. And let's see here. We've got K3CWE on, and Chuck says this was very interesting, the things to look at for purchasing amplifiers. And Kevin, K9KRA, says, I'm very pleased with my ACOM 2000A. And hello to Perry and 5PJ. Nice to have you on. And hello to Michael, W3MLJ. And Rob in the rocket ship there from England, he says, my mobile antenna was a real game changer for me. To compete with beams on lower power, I needed to maximize my output to 400 watts to be comparable to home stations. And the SGC Power Cube is a real workhorse for his mobile. And he's very happy with the maximum output of 35 amps to run that. So congratulations, Rob, on that. And question, VHF amplifier on a Yagi for 2-meter SSB, thoughts? Yes, but like I said, that's a whole nother discussion of having VHF amplifiers. Jim is Kilo Bravo 8 November, and he's down in North Carolina at the Hamfest, at the Shelby Hamfest. Good luck to you, Jimmy. And Kilo 7 Delta Charlie Mike, any insight on the Mirage 320B 2-meter amplifier availability? I know they are struggling with getting parts down at Mirage MFJ, so hang in there. There are parts shortages. And is Whiskey Radio 2 Hotel from New Jersey. And Rick says amplifiers with the 3CX 1500s are great. And Jerry from St. Louis, he's running, that's Kilo Bravo 0 Victor Yankee Alpha. He's running an Ameritron 1306. And here's a good suggestion from John, Kilo Bravo 3 Hotel. He says, never violate the safety interlock on a powered amplifier. And Leon said, what happened to the RF kit that you used to sell? Well, they're still being made, and so there's no worries there. And in the U.S., you can get them from Island Amplifier. Island Amplifier, and that's John, Kilo Fox 6 India. We had a contract for a couple of years, and John said that he wanted to step up and take it over, so he is the RF kit man here in the U.S. And we've got Ed, Kilo Mike 6 Uniform Tango Charlie. And will the lag in availability of amplifiers be fixed soon? Well, Ed, there's a lag in the availability of a lot of stuff, not just amateur radio stuff too. If you go into the big box stores and try to buy some things, it is hard because everything has to go by boat. And if there was some stuff in the news this week, there are more than 40 ships waiting to be unloaded out in California. And so that is the biggest backlog. Let's see. Perry says he has an Ameritron 811. That's a very popular amplifier. And Steve, November Echo 3 Fox, says I run a pair of ACOM 2000A amplifiers at my multi-multi. No longer worry about tuning an amp. And John says he has an Expert linear 1KFA and great older solid state, not made anymore. Looking at ACOM when I upgrade again, just got home from Shelby. So I hope you had a good time there, John. And we've got Bob, Alpha Bravo 7 Radio. And Rick says he's very pleased with his ACOM 1200S. And so there's a lot of good satisfied customers out there. Let's see, we've got Andy. He says my ACOM 1000 is working overtime. Grounding is important in any antenna system. Clears up the noise. It clears up a whole bunch of stuff. Grounding is very important. Dennis, W8TWO. No amplifier here yet. Good info on the 120 versus 240. One issue, finding a way to run 240 line to my shack. It will be expensive and challenging, but it'll be worth it in the end. Dennis, it really is a safer way to operate an amplifier because of the current involved and the amount of voltage drop you get. And it really does put running them on 120 volts does put a lot of stress on that circuit. And so that's our show today about amplifiers. And if you have any questions that we didn't get to, you can always email us, dxengineering@dxengineering.com, and we will do our best to get back to you quickly. And I hope everybody has a good time on the radio this weekend. The All Asian Phone Contest is on. Region 1 Field Day, European Field Day, is on SSB this weekend. And the Tennessee and Colorado QSO parties are this weekend as well. So there's lots of activity. And let's see, we got one more thing here. John says, your amazing team got my amazing Yaesu FTDX10 here very quickly. Thanks for all you do. Thanks very much for your business, John. And we appreciate everything that you're doing to build your station. Until next Tuesday, have a great holiday weekend here in the U.S. 73 from DX Engineering.